Welcome back to Flashpoint. This week, we're looking at different ways to help get folks off the streets and out of shelters and into homes. And a big part of that is the costs and access to housing. Right now, the city of Charlotte projects it needs 32,000 additional housing units to meet current demand, meaning 55,000 folks can't afford to live here right now. And now, city leaders are working to address the divide. Joining us now is Charlotte City Councilman Malcolm Graham. Councilman, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
So listen, it seems like City Council, the mayor, they've talked about affordable housing for years now and how it really is the #1 priority. Have you all been able to make what you consider to be sizable progress?
I think we've made meaningful progress over the last couple of years, and I chaired the city's Affordable Housing Committee for 2 years when I got back on council. The work that we did during COVID-19, making sure that individuals in our community had the resources they needed to sustain themselves throughout that period. The $50 million bond referendum that was just recently passed, the investments that we made in terms of affordable housing units throughout the city of Charlotte, working with local partners and developers. We're making meaningful progress along the way to ensure that individuals have the opportunity to live in safe, clean, affordable housing. Is the mountain really high? Absolutely. But I think we're climbing that mountain as best we could with the support of the community and support of various community partners.
You see some affordable housing, projects popping up across the city, but it's not keeping up with demand. What do you think is the biggest inhibitor to more of these projects?
Well, it's land cost, right? And now in this economy now, the cost of land, the supply chain has increased the units per cost price significantly. And just getting developers to identify ways in which they can include affordable housing in their development without any type of legislation from the state of North Carolina to assist along the way. And so I think those are the three major hurdles. One, land costs; two, supply chains and the increase of supplies, and really don't have the legislative authority to convince or cajole developers to include affordable housing in their development.
Last week, I think it was, Zillow named Charlotte the hottest housing market in the country. When you hear that, you think, oh, that's pretty cool. We have the hottest housing market in the country. And that is cool if you're a developer or if you have the means, but it also means that it's a downright painful market for folks who don't have the means to afford to live in this city.
Affordability for the city of Charlotte is really top of mind for everybody. Obviously, having that status as one of the hottest real estate markets in the country is significant. It demonstrates that we're really, really growing. 121 individuals every day move to the city of Charlotte, all looking for affordable housing, all looking for job opportunities and a quality of life that's second to none. And so our job, the city, the county, community partners, the corporate community, is try to create an environment that the city remains affordable. And so that's the challenge that we have to face. We've done a lot of work in terms of from the whole continuum from sheltered housing. Those who are living on our streets need somewhere to stay in terms of shelters, and we've been working with that all the way to 80% of AMI. And so it's a continuum of housing that we're trying to build for the community. And so it's a tough market to be in.
You mentioned a second ago that your hands were tied. Are there ways that you all can incentivize creating some of these affordable housing units?
Yeah, we've been doing that significantly through our Housing Trust Fund, right? We've been doing that for the last 20 years, trying to work and incentivize working with developers to build more affordable housing. The Housing Trust Fund recently turned 20 years old. The citizens approved $50 million of additional bonds for affordable housing. The council just recently had our Jobs and Housing Summit a week ago at the Bullplex Arena, where we brought in a number of community partners and talked about the issues of housing and jobs, how they go hand in hand with one another. And so we're doing the work that is necessary to try to solve the problem, knowing that it's a tall mountain, Ben. I'll be disingenuous if I said it wasn't.
And how long? I mean, I realize this is never going to be a completely fixed problem as long as we live in a desirable city and people want to move here. But what is sort of the measurement you give yourself for getting a better handle on this situation in the years to come?
Well, Charlotte is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. And like I said earlier, 121 individuals every day are moving to the city of Charlotte. And so we will always be trying to play catch up. And that's why it's really important that we take a look at all our tools in our toolbox. That's what we did 2 weeks ago when we had the Jobs and Housing Summit to make sure that we know the tools that we have, to recognize where we need to go from here, to acknowledge the work that we've already done, but more importantly, to also acknowledge that there's more work to be done. And so work with our community partners along the way. We are dedicated to trying to keep our community affordable for those who want to live and stay here.
All right, Councilman Malcolm Brown. Councilman, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you for the invitation.
For the first time, I think, having somebody actually from council chambers actually on the show like this. I think this was a first. All right, Councilman, thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
More Flashpoint after this.